Welcome to Athlete Lives Network exclusive interviews. Today our guest is Darren King, defensive end linebacker, East Chicago Central High School, class of 1997. How you doing, D. King?
I'm doing fine, and you?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Just keeping it easy.
That's good, man. Just want to get an opportunity, man, to get to know you, our viewers. You know, growing up in the city of East Chicago, playing football for East Chicago Central. What happened after that? What you're currently doing now, and who you consider the best players to come to East Chicago Central in football and basketball. Cool?
Fine with that.
First question is, go ahead and tell us, man, who you are and your early influences in sports.
Okay, my name is Darren King. I graduated in 1997. Right now I'm working for the Majestic Star Casino. So, that's about all I'm doing right now. Just staying out of trouble.
Okay. So far as your early influences in sports, what peers did you play against that was probably better than you during that time? Or what adults helped mold you to play sports?
Well, actually, what motivated me to play sports was my uncle, Earl Person. He motivated me and my cousin be able to play sports, because we weren't, sports minded when we was young. We was always out and about, but once he got to talking to us about sports, then that's when we got involved in hanging around the Calumet. That's all we did was play sports. So that really what motivated us to do what we do.
Okay. As you know, the city of Chicago is known for basketball. Did you grow up playing basketball? And if you did, or what other sports did you compete in besides football to help mold you to be an athlete?
I grew up playing basketball, baseball, and I swam a little bit. But what motivated me to play football was the physical contact. I love physical contact, so that wasn't no problem. I knew when I was young that's what I wanted to do was play football because of the competition. As far as basketball, that was just something I did, as far as on the side, something that we was doing growing up. We had a couple basketball courts, so we used to go out and play basketball a little bit. But baseball and football was really my biggest sports. That was what I was really big in.
Okay. Now you went to junior high, and where at?
West Side.
Okay. Did you play sports there during middle school?
I played basketball my seventh grade year. I wasn't outstanding, but I was there. I did what I could. So.
Okay. Now let's move on to high school. Now you're a freshman at East Chicago Central. What is your goals for that season playing freshman football?
My freshman year playing football at Central High, my goals was to become better each year. Understand the game. Understand the ins and outs of the game. And then, as far as the people I was playing with, get to know them better, So, as far as freshman year, it was just like a stepping goal. So, it wasn't really much you could do your freshman year. Plus, coming out of East Chicago, we had a lot of talent, So, as far as playing football in my freshman year, I was just trying to get the feel of the game and get to know my fellow teammates.
Okay. Now let's move on to your sophomore and junior season. Now, what was your goals during that time? I played with you as a freshman. You was a great player. Now give us your goals of your sophomore season first, and then go ahead kind of touch on your junior year.
Well, actually, my sophomore year, I was actually still studying the game. I didn't know much about football, but I did know a little about football. So around my sophomore year, I was still getting the study of the game, but at the same time, I was getting the feel of the game. So there wasn't nothing outstanding about me in football around those years because I was just trying to get a feel of it. I didn't know what position I wanted to play sophomore year. So as the years kept going on, I was trying to get the feel of the game and more about the sport.
Okay. All right. Now your junior season, you was involved in starting defense. That season you played with some great players, Aaron Smith, Adrian McClain, Michael McGee, Rodney Reynolds, Vincent Palmer, just name a few. Give us your goals for your junior year.
My junior year, actually, I was starting my junior year. but still, I was actually still trying to get the feel of what I was going to do, because actually my junior year wasn't. My junior year was the time where actually I found out what actually position I was going to be playing. So far as getting the feel of the position of defensive end, okay. I got the feel of the game. Then I got to know more players. Playing the side, Adrian Lewis, Michael Florence, Carl Yu, PJ, Mike McGee, So as we grew older into the sport, we started to get better at what we do. So far as my junior year, I say that was a big stepping stage for me, because I was actually starting. Then we actually played some big schools in Ben Davis, Terre Haute, Lake Central, So that right there, that got me in the field of the game right there.
Okay. Now let's move on to senior year. Senior year, man, we had a lot of potential, a lot of hype for us to go downstate.
Right.
This is the first time in school history that we had 7, 8 skilled players on offense, and the defense we were stacked. Now what's your goals as a senior? And then after you explain that, I want to talk about how our season ended.
My goal as a senior was, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, because like far as Twan Kennedy said in his interview, you got to have leadership, So I felt, far as me being myself, that I could have stepped up and said some things to our team that would made us motivate, But our senior year, we had a good senior year. Besides the ups and downs,
But from a player perspective, you played well. You made a lot of plays. So sometimes right. your leadership was in your play.
Right.
Right.
That's true too. Also the leadership do come in your play, but also, leadership also come in when you come out and speak out for yourself, what you believe in and what you feel that should be happening. But that's what I feel that I made my mistake as far as a leadership, because I wasn't no big time player on our senior team, but it was some things I could have stated, that would have made us
like
improve. As far as defensive minded, we should have been blitzing more. Yeah, we could have did a lot of things better on defense. We could have been talking to each other more than we should. We could have had better defense assignments, better defensive personnel, but that came in time, But as far as our senior year, we did great.
Okay. So, how did the senior season end? Because I know that season, the Cardinals went 5-5. With all that potential, we got a lot of slack for our record. But they understand that from 93 to 97, man, we had the hardest schedule in the state every year, playing the top teams in the state, and all Indiana as well as Illinois. So let's kind of go into the Valparaiso game.
Going into the Valparaiso game, we was prepared. We did what we had to do. It was just a little setbacks. I don't know if it was the play calling on defense or if it was just defensive assignments, though. But going into the Valparaiso game, we did what we had to do. We shut down Scott Vogt, which one of the lead rushing
in the state
running backs in the state. Probably was the best rushing running back in the state. So far as the defensive linemen, defensive backs, we did what we had to do to keep Scott Vogt in check, So far as that, though, we did a good job. Far as the play calling on defense at some of the times or the defensive personnel, that might be questionable.
Okay. Now, in my last interview, I interviewed Antoine Kennedy. He stated that a lot of people, like our front eight was nice. He said he didn't have no problem with that.
Real nice.
But our secondary, he said we had Paul Torres back there, Corey Bailey, and those are our teammates and our friends.
Correct.
Did you feel them guys should be on the field, or should we have had Marcus Reeves back there, Antoine Kennedy, somebody else back there at safety?
I mean, at the beginning of the game, those guys did what they do, but it was certain parts of the game that we could have made defensive personnel, where we could have made Marcus Reeves a cornerback, Austin Malave a safety or something like that, where veterans, that know more about the game, they could have did a better job than what we had out there. But the guys that we did have out there, they did do a good job. It was just a little setback. I don't know if it was the play calling or I don't know if it was the personnel, but the guys we had out there, they did a nice job. But we could have did something better, to make that last game for us a lot better for us. Well, we could have won.
Now, losing that game like that, the Rays are having an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter and blowing it. After the game, give us your feelings and emotions on that game, because there was some seniors that was, emotional, some wasn't.
As far as after that game, it was emotional. Me, myself, personally, I cried. I had tears down my eyes because that was our last year playing football in high school level. So, and we felt that we could have beat that team. So far as after the game, my emotionals was kind of real bad, but at the same time I held my own because I knew what we was capable of and I know what we could have did. But it was just a little letdown that how we lost that game. We should have won that game though.
Now let's go over the recruiting process. After that senior season, we had like I said, we had a lot of talent on that team. So a lot of guys wanted to go off and play college. During that time, a lot of scholarship offers were thrown at a lot of players. Did you get any scholarship offers, or did you get any offers period? And how much help did you get with the recruiting process?
Yeah, my senior year after the football season, I did get a couple scholarships. I got one from Glenville, Virginia. Me and Mike Florence, but I didn't go because it was a last minute thing when I found out that I was actually getting a scholarship from Glenville. It was hard on me and my mom for us to just decide on if that's what I wanted to do right then. For me going from Indiana to Virginia, not knowing no one out there, so then I only had a 2-week process for me to get everything done for me to start football. So my mother, she felt that it was a kind of a big risk for me to take by being a short notice, but at the same time I could have just went on and did it and see what I came out by myself. But as far as my recruiting stage in high school, it was pretty good.
But do you feel slighted though because you didn't get a scholarship offer almost until August?
Right, until August.
July. When
that was a big issue too because I felt that I wasn't no big standout on the defense, but I was good enough where I could have accept better offers, or I could have got an offer in time enough for me to get myself situated.
So did you ever go over some talks while going to school with Coach Mason or Coach Richards or Coach Tom, anybody during the recruiting season, which is from December to March, April?
No, I actually haven't had no talks with the coaches about recruiting because I don't know what kind of situations they was in at the time, so I don't know who they was looking at the time to get recruited at the time. But as far as I know what I did, I know I should have got a better offer than what I did.
Now, when you did get a scholarship offer to go to Glenville, West Virginia, and you didn't go, did you lose a love for the game? Because I played with you for 4 years in a row, and I know you love the game of football. But why you didn't go? Why?
Like I said, it was such a short notice. I didn't know no one in Virginia at the time. I didn't know if I would be able to make it by myself, by me growing up around my mother all my life. I didn't know if that was a big step for me to take, leaving, going that far without, no guidance, I had no type of advice or anything, So if I had a little advice on what I should have did, I would have did better.
All right.